Okay, we're back. We're going to be cutting out, I put the design of the feet on, alright, which is like a big V cut, and his feet are actually right here, and then his legs are right where I was starting to pull that out. I finished up doing as far as I'm going to do with the top of his head, but we're going to have to cut out in between the legs here, okay, and also right here on the side. So this needs to go off, come off, along with I drew the rock on, you know, where he's sitting. So this is going to be called the sitting chicken, and we're just going to try to trim that out. Now when you cut stuff like this out, what you want to do is you want to make sure you cut it real nice and deep, or at least nice and crisp cut right that corner, that it will come out clean when you go to cut it. Alright, so bring this down. There we go. So we're going to take that down a little further. His arms come around a little bit, and we'll do his head in a little bit here as well. I don't know how many video clips this will take, because I'm going by somebody else's design. It's a little different because I'm trying to make it as accurate as I can and explain it as I go along. Alright, so we're going to also cut in between here, right up to, actually that's all going to come out. So if you have little gouges, it will work much better, but if you don't, what you want to do is just take your knife and do a little bit of a turn like that, and then come back and chop it out. Okay? Just make little turns with your knife. And you need a thinner knife to do that. You don't always need gouges for everything, but having the gouges or the mini micro set that I have, and I'll show you that in a second, because I'll probably be putting a couple of things on this, and we're going to just widen the feet a little bit more so we can get in there a little bit easier, okay, or widen the space in between. Now remember, we've got to cut down. We have it down here, but we need to cut this out up here. So what you want to do is you want to take the top of your knife where the body starts going down, okay, this portion right here needs to be cut out here, and that starts right there. So what you want to do is just take the tip of your knife, just take it down a little ways, alright, and then turn it around, and then just kind of scoop it up. Try not to gouge out too much if it's at all possible. You know, try not to kind of take your time. Okay, we're going to just go down because the legs are really going to be sticking out kind of out anyway. I'm going to get rid of this one video here. Hang on just a second. Let me delete this one thing so I don't get it mixed up. I try to load things as I go. You know, and the top of his legs are going to be coming out right, kind of right where that line is. So if we put a little line right there and right there, okay, and you're going to take it about maybe 1/8 of an inch. Give yourself plenty of room. All this then, whoops, all this needs to come out. So if this comes down to the foot, alright, that's what all needs to come out. This is a little tricky, but we'll get it done. I may end up using a gouge to clean it up nice, and I'll explain that if we use that and we get to that point. But just kind of take your time, and where that line comes through, it's kind of tough to do that because the bill is in the way, or the beak. I'm just going to go up here and I'm going to start chopping little pieces out. And this is what takes time, you know, so I'm going to do some of this offline, but you get the idea. You just keep going in there and keep working your knife in there to remove some of this stuff. There we go. There we go. You know, if you get a good start with where it starts here at the bottom, you can work your way up to where it's in between there and where it's got to be at the same angle, okay? So you're just gonna come in here and you're just gonna keep working. See how I just keep going back and keep fussing with it. Now if you have a gouge like I have here, I have these micro tools. They come in very, very handy. And we could use one of those. You should really have a flatter one, but if you just want to get the bulk of it out, you could use one of these to get up in here. See how much easier that would be? But you can also do it with a knife, so you know, it's just going to take you longer. It may not clean up as nice, but you get the idea. And what you want to do is you don't want to jam it up into the body when you do this. You want to kind of take your time with it and work your way up. Alright, so we're going to also take this off here. So we have this part of the body too on this side, right? So we need to take the knife. I'm going to get rid of some of this. That turned out a little dark. That was because of my printer. It's not what Thomas sent to me. He sent me one earlier, and this is the earlier version of it that I used because it was the right size that I needed. Oh, I forgot to tell you the size. The size of the wood is 3.5 inches. Let me bring out a ruler here. I kind of forgot to tell you what the size was. This chicken is, now this is in standard form, it's 3.5 inches high by 1 3/4 by 2. Alright? And that's how that one works out. Again, that's online. You can print it out, and if you need to make it bigger or smaller, you can do it any way you want. If you have a scanner a printer that can enlarge a project, that works out really well. I have one here. I don't know if the newer printers do it, but mine can go up to 400% bigger than what. So I can make a pattern and then take it to one of those machines and enlarge it to the size of wood that I want to work with. The technology today is wonderful for that kind of stuff. You know, so you're not limited just to the size that you see there or whatever you print out. And if you don't have something like that, I'll tell you where you can go get that done at the local library. They would have the machine, you know, the copying machine that probably is capable of doing that. For 15 or 20 cents, it's so worth getting it the way you want it. You know. We're going to go in a little further. There we go. I see we're almost coming to the end of this taping here. I try not to go over 10 minutes. It just doesn't work as well. It takes longer for me to load stuff. I have the old system of loading things yet. Here I don't have the joy of using a cable yet. So okay, so let me go ahead and I'll be right back. We'll continue.